16. Roll call.
Alderman Kirkowski.
Here.
Bekavich.
Here.
Verhaelen.
Here.
Tillman.
Here.
Gale.
Here.
Guzekowski.
Here.
Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance Item 3 is the approval of minutes of November 15th, 2016.
David will make a motion to approve the minutes of 11/15/16.
Guzekowski will second.
I think I heard Guzekowski's second. Roll call.
Alderman Bekavich.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Tillman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Under public hearings, item 4 is a rezone request by the City of Oak Creek to rezone the properties at 9180 South Fifth Avenue and 4240 East Ryan Road from A1 Limited Agricultural and RM1 Multifamily Residential to P1 Park District, excluding the LOD, which is the Lakefront Overlay District. City Clerk will now read the public hearing notice.
Public hearing number 1 is to consider a request by the City of Oak Creek to rezone the properties at 9180 South Fifth Avenue and 4240 East Ryan Road from A1 Limited Agricultural and RM1 Multifamily Residential to P1 Park District, excluding the LOD, Lakefront Overlay District. Applicant is the City of Oak Creek. Property owner, City of Oak Creek. There follows the legal description. Date of notice is October 27th, 2016.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Doug Seymour. I'm the Director of Community Development for the city. And this is a public hearing and a request to rezone portions of the properties at 9180 South Fifth Avenue and 4240 East Ryan Road from A1 Limited Agricultural and R1 Multifamily to P1 Park District. When you boil it all down to its simplest terms, the city has spent considerable time planning for and constructing the Lake Vista Park. And I guess this acknowledges the effort that's taken place and is now rezoning this for use as a park. I don't want to make it more complicated than it is, but it's taking the properties which are shown on your map and rezoning portions of those to the park, because obviously not all of those properties are part of the park. Part of those properties also will be available for additional private development. So really, the legal description for the park will include only that portion which is being developed as the park. Trying to keep it simple. This is a public hearing. I would request that anyone who has any questions or comments regarding the proposed rezoning of the Lake Vista Park to P1 Park to please fill out a comment form, give that or hand it in to the city clerk. When your name is called, please approach the microphone and give your name and address and proceed to address your question and or comment to the Common Council. This public hearing is now open.
We'll make 3 calls for public comment on item number 4. First call.
Mayor and Council, I am concerned in regard to this development that is mentioned. At one time, years ago, I heard there's supposed to be row houses along there as well as on 27th Street. What kind of rules do we have for placement of residential properties adjacent to a park?
Go ahead, Doug.
Thank you. You're right, and when you say that this rezoning is about the park itself, we are not rezoning any properties outside of the park. I mean, provided that the properties outside of the park are zoned for either single family or multifamily, they're able to be developed as multifamily in accordance with the rules of the city. And if you'd like to get into that in more detail, I mean, we can certainly go over with what some of the city's residential housing standards are, but this would not be the opportunity to do that.
I'd just like to remind you, Mr. Degnan, that the specific public hearing is related to the rezoning and not the item you just brought up. So if you have a question about zoning or a comment about zoning for these 2 parcels, please bring that up.
Oh, I see. When we actually have a request for a building, then only then can we bring it up.
Any other development that would come forward have its own discussion. Thank you. Second call. Third and final call for public comment on item number 4A, or 4 rather. Seeing no one coming forward, I'll now close the public hearing and move to discussion of item number 5, which is a consideration of ordinance number 2832. It would rezone the properties at 9180 South Fifth Avenue and 4240 East Ryan Road from A1 Limited Agricultural and RM1 multifamily residential to P1 Park District, excluding the LOD, which is the Lakefront Overlay District. And this is in the 4th District. Open up to council for questions and or comments. Don't have any buttons pushed, so Alderman Bekavich.
Again, we went through this at planning. This is just a logical step in the development of that park down there. I think Doug summed it up the best without complicating it. It's just another step forward on the long-term plan for the lakefront.
Okay. If no other discussion, I'll take a motion on 5.
Tobin will make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2832, approving the rezoning of portions of the properties at 9180 South Fifth Avenue, 4240 East Ryan Road from A1 Limited Agriculture and RM1 Multifamily Residential to P1 Park District, excluding the Lakefront Overlay District.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Verhaelen.
Aye.
Toman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Bekavich.
Aye.
Under old business, item 6 is a motion to confirm the mayor's aldermanic appointment of Alderman Gale to the Tourism Commission, which had its first meeting today, and I believe selected the chair, who is,
Willis with the Wisco Hotel Group.
and vice chair.
Jim Ritz.
That's right. So this would complete our assignments for the Tourism Commission. Is it committee or commission? Commission, which would then set them on their path to start making the decisions that we've talked about at previous meetings. Any questions or comments on that appointment? Seeing none, motion on 6.
Guzekowski will make a motion to confirm the mayor's aldermanic appointment of Alderman Geld to the Tourism Commission.
Bekavich will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Toman.
Aye.
Gale. Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Bekavich.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Under new business, item 7 is a consideration of resolution number 11769-120616, a resolution establishing various fees, permits, and charges charged by the city of Oak Creek, effective January 1st, 2017. Do we have anybody speaking on that issue? No? Any questions or comments from the council? Go ahead, Mr. Degner.
Arden Degner, 8540 South Pennsylvania Avenue. I'm concerned about these increasing fees. I recall the time that the city was incorporated with the power plant and having lights. And the city of Milwaukee was so jealous that they located the sewage plant in our township. Now, I've been told that time, as well as within the last month or two, that because of that kind of development, and because we have signed a contract with the water utility and supplying water to Waukesha, it will reduce our taxes, reduce our fees. With the water, we've been scrogged by city of Franklin putting in all those and without proper payment for it. And I see the same thing happening with the water utility. Why don't the taxpayers get some relief? Now, I imagine just because the city of Milwaukee raises up everything, Oak Creek, we don't have, at least I don't, have the kind of income that people in River Hills or Whitefish Bay have. Why can't we have a lower tax rate? Does everything have to be increased by 2%? I know some of the items haven't. But to me, it boggles my mind.
Thank you, Mr. Degner. Actually, we have the police chief, fire chief, and engineering here. If you guys want to talk briefly about any rise in fees, or if you want to talk directly to what Mr. Degner said.
I'll talk on my annual fire inspection fees and the ALS, BLS fees. Take the latter one first. The ALS, BLS fees is the usual CPIU health increase that's brought forth by the Milwaukee County Chiefs in unison and also approved by the ICC for the annual increase. And that's just to recoup the costs that have gone in that regards. And that's the same thing when we did the fire inspection fees a few years back, that we worked with Larry Haskin that to recoup the increase, which is basically the wage increase for the fire inspection fees. So that's what's my annual thing on the fire side.
Anderson?
We have one new fee for the police department that's on there, and it is for, we have numerous requests throughout the year for background investigations to fingerprint people. Every time we do that, we're tying an officer up for 15, 20 minutes at a minimum. Sometimes we're getting 2 of these a day. We have never gone to charging for that, but we're pulling somebody off the road all the time. It's not recouping what our costs are, but it is a service provided that we feel we can no longer provide for nothing.
For the public that's not looking at the report, what is the fee for that?
$10.
Okay. Again, it's not a realistic charge based on an actual.
It's not based on actual, it's a portion of it.
Okay. Engineering, anything?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. There are a number of fees that are being increased under the jurisdiction of the engineering department, and it's been several years that these fees have remained at the current rate. So it is well past the time that these get adjusted. These are we've done calculations on the time spent on staff on all of these issuing of permits and follow up, and this is to cover the time by the staff on these tasks, and only that. So there is a proposed increase in the erosion control permit, and this will not affect single and 2-family homes. It's for lots that are in excess of half an acre, so primarily commercial development, and that does take more of our time and more follow-up.
If I remember some of our previous discussions, typically Oak Creek falls in the bottom ranking for fee costs and associated with other cities charge. So I think we're in good shape, and I think that speaks to you, refutes what Mr. Degner's point suggested, that we are overcharging. I think we're in the low to middle range, so that's good. Any other questions or comments from the council? Alderman Bekavich?
Just a quick comment. Again, it is a fee structure. This is fair because it really puts the cost of the people that actually use these services. So not all of Oak Creek's being charged for this. As if we would have thrown it on taxes and adjusted tax rate accordingly to cover for this without the fee structure. So I think this is very fairly done. I trust the city, as the mayor said, put us in that middle range where we tend to like to be. And over time, we did need to add this and update it. We have photovoltaic stuff going on these days. We never had a permit fee for that. So in many cases, we were probably undercharging for that service there. So I like to see that it does get reviewed every few years.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? City Administrator?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We really like to wrap these up and do one annual review, but just so you're aware, in the health department items, which have a lot more level or layers of involvement at the state with what's compensable, what the amounts are for certain programs that they put on, is amidst the review right now. So I don't know exactly the timeline that those will come back, maybe 60 days. The health department staff's working on that. So I just wanted to draw that to your attention.
Okay, good clarification. Anyone else? Yeah, Alderman Gale?
Just a reminder for those in the audience, these are not arbitrary numbers. Obviously, these have to be derived from actual costs of providing the service. So we're not picking things out of the air and just charging a fee. So these are actually based on costs that our staff costs us to provide the service to the constituents. So it's justifiable and still probably below our actual cost of doing business from that standpoint.
Okay. Anyone else? Motion on 7.
Yeah, I'll move to approve Resolution 11769-120616, a resolution establishing various fees, permits, and charges charged by the City of Oak Creek effective 1/1/17.
Guzekowski, second.
Roll call?
Alderman Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Bekavich.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Tolman.
Aye.
We're going to jump ahead to 11 and then back to 8. Item 11 is actually under engineering. It's a consideration of resolution number 11766-120616, accepting the workmanship and authorizing final payment to Payne and Dolan for project numbers 15011, 15012, 15013, and 15014. This project involved the installation of pathway and court improvements in Willow Heights, Manor Marquette, Miller Park, and Meadowview, and that's in various districts. City engineer?
Yes, the project's been completed and was a success. We had a few challenges and some of the actual conditions on the that we found in some of the conditions of the courts and the sub bases. This was that cost us some money. This was a really good project from the standpoint of cooperation between the departments, engineering, working with the city's hired contractor, and then the streets and parks department. They helped with the pavement removals, they did the stone subbase on the pathways, and then they did the follow-up topsoil and seeding for restoration of the projects. And we also had a nice conversion of a couple of tennis courts into pickleball courts, which we had quite a bit of input in the design process that people wanted those. So very, very good project, successful.
Thanks to the Streets Department for the assist on that. Questions or comments from the council? Motion on 11.
Bill, move to approve resolution 1176-12016, accepting the workmanship and authorizing final payment to Payne and Dolan for projects numbers 15011, 15012, 15013, and 15014. The project involved installation of pathway and court improvements in Willow Heights, Manor Marquette, Miller Park, and Meadowview.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Bekavich.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Tolman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Okay, back to 8. 8 is the consideration of a motion to approve the vendor summary report in the amount of $717,012.27. Any questions or comments on that? Pretty straightforward. Motion.
Bill, move to approve the vendor summary report in the amount of $717,012.27.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Kirkowski.
Aye.
Bekavich.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Tolman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Okay, 2 community development items. We have item 9 is a consideration of resolution number 11770-120616, approving a certified survey map for the property at 300 West Oakview Parkway in the 5th District. Doug.
Thanks. 2 CSMs for you this evening. The first is a CSM that will create the property for a spec building that's being developed at 300 West Oakview Parkway. It redivides this lot into 2 parcels and provides for the installation of a cul-de-sac to service these parcel. The taxes generated obviously from this new development will be helpful in paying off the project costs for TID 8. The Plan Commission has recommended the proposed land division, and they have recommended approval.
Okay, questions?
Zoning stays the same, correct, Doug?
That's correct, yes.
Thank you, Alderman Verhaelen. Any other questions or comments?
Doug, have you got a
Alderman Gale?
developer put a start date on the project yet?
It is, Nate, do we have a, no, I guess not.
You guys are still in plan review, or?
No other questions or comments? Motion on 9.
Bill will move to approve resolution 11770-120616, approving a certified survey map for the property at 300 West Oakview Parkway.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Bekavich.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Tolman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
And item 10 is a consideration of resolution number 11772-120616, approving a certified survey map for the property at 9330 South Nicholson Road in the 3rd District. Doug.
Thank you. This is actually a reapproval, if you will, of a certified survey map that the council previously adopted back in June of this year. The reason this is being brought back to your attention is to provide some dedication language for Nicholson Road when this CSM was initially approved by the city and sent into the county for recording. The county flagged it and such that the Register of Deeds did not acknowledge that there was right-of-way that existed for Nicholson Road. That issue has since been resolved. This CSM provides the appropriate dedication and dedication language for the Nicholson Road dedication. And the staff's recommendation is for approval.
Questions? Motion?
David will make a motion to adopt resolution number 11772-120616, approving a certified survey map for the property at 9330 South Nicholson Road.
Gale, second.
Roll call?
Alderman Verhaelen.
Abstain.
Tolman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Bekavich.
Aye.
And the second and final engineering item is item 12. It's a consideration of resolution number 11771-120616. It's a resolution authorizing the CIP recommended road improvement projects to be advertised for public bid for a rehabilitation in 2017. Mike?
The CIP committee met with staff, engineering, street department involved with that meeting, finance, and basically reviewed the rankings of the roads on the latest inspections. Of course, they are rated on their Paisley ratings. We tend to concentrate on the lower rated roads, the 2s, the 3s, and sometimes the 4s. The trend is a lot more 3s and 4s than we've had, and that has to do with that ongoing discussion about the amount of resources that put towards the maintenance of the roads. But at any rate, did select a number of roadways that you see on the listing here before you. We've got about $1.3 million in the budget. We were looking to settle on about 1.2 million. That's what we've done with roadway sections 1 through 11. We also selected a few alternatives just in case the bids come in lower. Those would be the preferred alternatives to add to the contract. And so we were looking for concurrence and approval to move forward. One item that I'd like to point out, which is roadway section number 1, is the intersection of Putes and Liberty. And I have that up on the screen. Basically, that's not a redo of the road, but it is improvements to that intersection. Council will recall about a year ago we did a traffic signal warrant analysis for a couple of intersections in the city, this being one of them, was not found to be warranted for signals, and yet there are some improvements that we can do to this intersection that will make it safer traffic movements. So if you got any questions on what you see on the screen, but that is what we intend to have installed at that location.
Questions? Alderman Gale?
Yes, Steve, thanks. Mayor, just a commentary over, not necessarily on the Liberty Lane and Putes intersection, which obviously is a high priority given the kind of the traffic bottlenecks we see there. But overall in the process, the Capital Improvements Committee, Alderman Tobin, myself, and Guzekowski, appreciate the significant effort the engineering department put in this, in particular Matt Sullivan's efforts to really lay out a good case over how the city's infrastructure is aging and our particular need here. Obviously, we moved to this 2-year repaving cycle a couple years ago. But as a result, we still find that we are significantly underfunding our needs for roads, given the development that happened 15, 20 years ago. All those roads are aging at a rate that we are finding on a bell curve. We're going to be coming into a time period where we're going to have to be focusing on finding a way to stretch our dollars or allocate additional dollars to this need as we move forward. Obviously, we don't necessarily want to become some of the neighborhoods in Milwaukee where you hope and pray that people pass safely. So, take care of our roads and do good service for our citizens. We're going to have to focus on our infrastructure here, and given the aging nature of our roads, it's going to be a significant point of focus for us for the next few years.
Yep, and I echo what you said, and I know that we've paid close attention to the roads in the city because I hear from the residents that they're, even though they're aging, they're in good shape and not dangerous or unsafe. And certainly we don't have the pothole problems that Milwaukee has. Transportation is not a Oak Creek issue or a Milwaukee issue. It's a Wisconsin issue. Actually, it's a national issue. And there was lots of discussion at the state level today about how all of that gets funded. So hopefully some of that state money that we push out to the state will come back in the way of helping us maintain our good roadways. So on the radar of the state legislature and the governor. So we'll see what happens. Alderman Guzekowski.
Mayor, I just want to point out here, you talk about trying to stretch things. This is a great example here when you look at what's on the screen, and talking to engineering, with coming up with solutions. We had talked, boy, it would be great to have lights here, but there are a lot of dynamics that go into play here too. So they come up with another solution that really kind of fits the bill for now, at least in the short term, and sets it up for future changes going on down the road. So I head off to them, as this is something that I've been working with them for some time, and with the constituents in the area. So thank you.
Anything else? Alderman Tolman?
Mike, on the two alternatives listed on the bottom, do we, based on the bids, are those, if they do come in under, would those be automatically included, or does that come back to council, or what's the process on that?
We will include those roads in the design package in the bids. We'll have a base bid from items 1 through 11, and then the alternate, and we'll see how that comes in when we do the addition and what we have budget wise. So yes, the way this is set up, the intent is that these two would be the first two in if more can be done. If the bids come in even lower, then we could probably present something at the time of award as a potential another road to do.
Good, thank you.
Like this work scheduled for late spring, summer?
That is correct. We expect to be out to bid by February. We could award in March, and then as soon as the weather breaks.
Good.
Yep.
Okay. Alderman Kavich, then Alderman Verhaelen.
Mike, I have a question, if you could just kind of educate me. The mill and asphalt surfacing, what do we get, another 5 years out of the road that way, or is it longer?
No, you would get, you can get up to like a dozen years.
Oh, that many?
Yes. What you'll see though, if it's purely just a mill and overlay, is that maybe even after the first winter, you're going to start seeing some reflective cracking coming through. We've been working with the street department, and what they've been doing in this is they get in there and they crack seal right away. Then that really helps hold it, because you're going to get that initial cracking. That's just the way it is when you mill and overlay. Some of these roads where it says mill and asphalt surfacing, we may actually pulverize. Once we get in there and really look at the pavement, we may pulverize that pavement. So what it is, it grinds it all the way through to the asphalt, all the way through to the aggregate base, rolls it out, compacts it good, and then puts new asphalt on it, and you get more years out of that. So
Thank you.
Alderman Verhaelen?
Just one question, Mike, on on the Pennsylvania Avenue project. There's going to be more traffic as you have more development and more people using that Pennsylvania Avenue to access 794 up to the north. And I was wondering if there's anything in that budget, or if it's included in the budget to do any shouldering work on that road, because right now there's no shoulders at all on that thing. No street lights as well, not even one, except for on the corner, I believe, and maybe by the bike trail. So it's after dark. I mean, if there's somebody walking on that road, there's really no place for them even to get out of traffic. And it's nice to have at least a little bit of gravel on the side of the roads at least. But so I was wondering if that's included in the bid as well.
there's nothing in here for that. That could be something if if the bids come in, rather than selecting another roadway, maybe we reserve some money for that. Now, there has been the TAA that was done, traffic impact analysis that was done on Pennsylvania and Drexel for the HSI multifamily. There also was, you may recall, recently a kind of a mini TIA for the north end of Pennsylvania with a focused interest on the intersection of Milwaukee and Pennsylvania on up to Rawson, because that is where the traffic counts are heavier. And there are some interim measures that can be taken to improve that, because that is that main entrance, one of the main entrances into the city of South Milwaukee. So there are some minor changes that can be made there. So we could potentially, that's in coordination with South Milwaukee, use if there's some excess funds on that as well. So,
All right.
Great. If no other questions or comments, motion?
We'll move to approve Resolution 11771-120616, a resolution authorizing the CIP recommended road improvement projects to be advertised for public bid for rehabilitation in 2017.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Toman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Bekavich.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Item 13 under Human Resources, a motion to approve the city health insurance plan for 2017, and HR Director is here to talk about that or answer any questions.
Thank you. Good evening. This is to approve our health insurance plan for 2017. You have received a summary of both plans. There's a plan for the non-represented employees, and then also a separate plan for the police and fire union employees. Originally, when we started working on these proposals, we thought that increases would be a lot higher than they were. But with working with the city administrator and the finance director and our benefits coordinator, we did negotiate that number down to a 9.3% increase, where most increases for stop-loss insurance for self-insured plans are at 20%, according to our broker. So 9.3 wasn't too bad. How that will affect our employees as far as what they're paying for health insurance, it's about $3 per pay period for single coverage and $8 per pay period for family coverage.
That's pre-tax money, Becky?
Yes, correct. And this is our first increase since 2012. Back then, we had a 15.8% increase, but for the past 4 years, our premiums have actually been decreasing. So this is the first increase since 2012. So there are virtually no plan design changes per se. So we kept deductibles the same, we kept co-insurance the same, but we will be looking at other options to maintain our cost savings in the future plans.
As we do every year.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
So first increase since 2012, significantly lower than the 20% initial number, 9.3.
Correct.
Okay, with a $3 impact for singles and a $8 family impact monthly, pre-tax. All right, questions or comments? Motion.
We'll move to approve the city health insurance plan for 2017.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Bekavich.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Toman.
Aye.
Licensing, I'll hand it off to Alderman Kirkowski.
Okay, the License Committee met on 11/17/2016 minutes, not attached, but the recommendations are as follows. Item 14, Kirkowski make a motion to grant an operator's license to Cheyenne Terlan, 3151 South Delaware Avenue, Milwaukee.
Verhaelen seconds.
Roll call.
Alderman Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Bekavich.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Toman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
15.
15, Kirkowski make a motion to grant an operator's license to the 6 individuals listed on the agenda. Favorable background reports were received.
Verhaelen seconds.
Roll call.
Alderman Kirkowski.
Aye.
Bekavich.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Toman. Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
All right, under item 16 is a motion to convene into closed session immediately following the conclusion of the common council meeting pursuant to Wisconsin state statutes to discuss the following. A, section 19.851E, to discuss a proposed finance development agreement with SBBM Property LLC related to the redevelopment of the property at 7625 South Howell Avenue. B, section 19.851E, to discuss the terms of a finance development agreement with Emerald Row LLC for TIF loan and grant assistance for phase 2 of the Emerald Row development. Alderman Gale.
Gale moves to convene into closed session immediately following the conclusion of the common council meeting pursuant to Wisconsin state statutes. Discuss the following. A, section 19.85 sub 1 sub E, to discuss the proposed finance development agreement with SBBM Property LLC related to the redevelopment of the property at 7625 South Howell Avenue. B, section 19.85 sub 1 sub E, to discuss the terms of a finance development agreement with Emerald Row LLC for a TIF loan and grant assistance for phase 2 of the Emerald Row development.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Bekavich.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Toman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
We will now go into closed session in the closed session council chambers, and we'll turn off the live stream. We'll return to council chambers and turn on the live stream once we're done with that session.
Alderman Verhaelen.
Aye.
Toman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Bekavich.
Aye.
And item 18 is a consideration of resolution number 11773-120616. It's a resolution authorizing the finance development agreement with SBBM Property LLC related to the redevelopment of the property at 7625 South Howell Avenue. Need a motion on that?
Kirkowski will make a motion to approve resolution number 11773-120616. Resolution authorizing the finance development agreement with SBBM Property LLC related to the redevelopment of the property at 7625 South Howell Avenue.
Gavich will second.
Roll call?
Alderman Toman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Bekavich.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
And finally, a motion to adjourn.
Kirkowski will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Bekavich. Roll call?
Alderman Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Bekavich.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Toman.
Aye.
Thank you for watching on live stream. Thanks for being here, Mr. Degner, and we'll see you next Tuesday at Plan Commission. Have a good night.